Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and we are back at it again. All right? Happy New Year's to everyone. It's the first show after New Year's is rung in. I hope everyone's having a great New Year's so far and enjoying themselves. Let me tell you something. The Jets, also had a game against the Bucs. We're going to be talking about that. That loss to the Bucs in a tough game. We're going to be talking about the character assassination that was done against Zach Wilson, and the outcome of that Bucs game. We're also going to be talking about the upcoming Bills game as well, discussing a lot of things that's going on with the Jets. So, listen, the lines are open, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. So without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and get into the show. I am fired up. I'm fired up, all right? I'm fired up. Listen, your boy is on iTunes, man. Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes. Get on over there, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Give me a 5-star rating and leave me some feedback. Let me know what you folks think about what I'm doing here on the Long Beach Joe Show and how much you folks enjoy it. I greatly appreciate everyone that does that. I really like the feedback. I really like hearing about what you folks think I'm doing here. I'm also on Twitter as well, YoungJ000. Again, YoungJ000. Go ahead. Follow me. I'll follow you right back, and we can go back and forth. I love talking to people about football. Some people just want to talk to me about life. I'm here for that as well. Go ahead. Give me your takes. Give me your thoughts on life, and we can talk about that too. I'm also the show's page as well as at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. That's the show's page. You can go back and forth with me about football on there as well. Love discussing stuff. There's been a lot to discuss in these past couple of days, so really enjoyed it as well. For those of you that are listening to the audio, on Blog Talk and everywhere else, if you want to see my handsome, beautiful face, listen, I have a face that's made for TV, okay? Let's keep it real. A lot of people got to stay on the radio. Not me, baby, okay? Not me. You know what I'm saying? I've been told, by a lot of women, I'm a very, handsome guy. So guess what? If you want to see this face, if you want to see what we're doing over here, I do live show. I do live stream the radio show. So get on over to Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page there, and you will see the show when we go live. Keep in mind, when you subscribe, please hit that notification bell so that when I post content, y'all will be in the know. You know what I'm saying? Y'all will be in the know. So salutes to everybody, again, listening, Venom G's, Edward Stewart, NY Jets FL. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. It's time to get into it. You know what I'm saying? We got callers. Please be patient. We'll get to everybody tonight. I'm going to give everybody a little rundown about the Bucs game. So much. I was very, very inspired and very happy about the fight that we saw against the Bucs. The New York Jets lost to the Bucs 28-24, and what a fight we put up, right? We came out early. We were down our top 3 wide receivers, Moore, Crowder, Davis. Neither one of them were playing, but we all had questions about the offense going into the game. We were all wondering, hey, how are they going to perform in this football game, especially going against the Bucs, which is an unbelievably tough team. And let me tell you something. They came out and looked very good. Zach Wilson was very good in this football game. We saw a lot of very good throws. He was 19-33, 234 yards, also had a touchdown. We saw a lot of things out of Zach Wilson that we have been hoping to see all season. I personally believe that this is the best game that he has played all season. It's the most complete game he's played all season. We saw throws into tight windows. We saw him be able to dissect the defense. We saw him move defenders off with his eyes to open up throwing lanes to other wide receivers. We saw him utilize so many different tools within his skill set. It was insane. That game by Zach Wilson against the Bucs to me is his highlight game of this season, all right? Highlight game of the season. Another guy that also made some highlight plays as well, this Braxton Berrios. Serious business, serious business, okay? 8 catches, 65 yards. He had a touchdown, but he also had 1 rushing touchdown as well. 2 TDs early for us in this game. This guy's a playmaker. He is a playmaker. And, again, going into this offseason, I'm looking at the situation and I'm saying, I think Braxton Berrios is a must-sign. I think he's a must-sign, not for just what he gives us in special teams, but for what he adds to the table as a wide receiver coming out of the slot. So we're going to be talking about that tonight as well. I really liked his performance. We're continuing to see him do his thing. Carter, had 54 yards on the day. He had a concussion, though, so he ended the day early. But I was also surprised the way that the defense played, too. The defense was playing very well early. The Bucs looked like they were just out of sorts, okay? We were just throwing things at them left and right, and things were not going well for them early. And we were even able to get an interception before the half by Echols. Echols was able to step up, get an interception. That put us in a position to kick a field goal. So things were looking pretty good for us, all right? At one point, I believe in the third quarter, we were up 24-17. 24-17 on the Bucs, we were up. And things were looking really well. And then we had the craziest thing happen. One of the craziest things I've ever seen happen in the league happen. Antonio Brown just, took his gear off on the sidelines. Him and, Bruce Arians had quite a bit of a disagreement. There's still a lot of, back and forth with that as well. They're saying, hey, he wanted to, he didn't want to go back in the game because he was hurt. Bruce Arians didn't feel like he was hurt. He wanted him to go back in the game. When he said no, they were just like, just sit down. They were going to put him on that bench and move on. He took his gear off. He threw that, under a bench. He took his shirt off. He took his gloves off. He threw those into the stands. He runs onto the field, onto the other end zone, while the Jets and the Bucs are still on the field at the other side of the field. And he, pumps up the crowd a little bit, puts puts one finger in the air, and takes off towards the the locker room, and never to be seen again. He was done. Walked away from the Bucs live during a game. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. We hear things about, Vontae Davis walking away, at halftime, but to leave right there on the field and then pump everybody up and take off, man, that was crazy. We also saw our defense give up a 3rd and 20 as well in this game. That was tough, but we saw the Bucs also really turn up the pressure in the second half, especially with Fant going down, which we'll miss him. He's, going to be on the IR for the rest of the season, so he's done. So once Fant went down, we saw the Bucs really turn up the pressure. And once they turned up the pressure, it was tough. They were just all over us, and we couldn't keep drives going. They were able to hit a field goal late. It was 20-24 at that point. And then we were able to do some things, and we thought, hey, the Jets got a drive going on down the field. It looked like we were in scoring position, right? We thought, hey, we can kick a field goal and be up by 7, or, we can keep pushing for this touchdown. Well, play comes. It's 4th and 2. I personally thought we were going to kick a field goal, but nope, the offense stayed out there on the field. They actually called a timeout before that as well, came out of the timeout, and according, to the Jets staff, there was a miscommunication because on 4th and 2, there was a QB sneak that was ran on 4th and 2. And when I tell you it was shut down, baby. It was shut down. Easy peasy. And the Bucs were able to get the ball back, drive back down the field, and, Tom Brady does what Tom Brady did. Especially, again, we left, I think it was like a minute and 40-something seconds on the clock left. Listen, you give Tom Brady that much time, it is what it is. He goes back down the field, hits Grayson for a 33-yard touchdown. They also hit a 2-pointer, which made it 28-24. Now, there was a lot of question, about that 4th and 2 call. I didn't like it. I was upset. I was beside myself, with my family going crazy on the 4th and 2 call. But, again, there's been a lot of talk after it. A lot of people tried to initially blame Zach Wilson. We had a lot of people in the media on certain platforms go off and call Zach Wilson selfish. They tried to say that he called his own number. They tried to say that the play was all his idea. Well, the New York Jets coaching staff comes out and says, hey, listen, that call was not Zach's fault. There was a miscommunication on the call. We were looking to get, a handoff to Braxton Berrios, and if we would have, looking at the film, we think we would have got a first down. We would have been able to close the game out. But the way that it was miscommunicated, which was on our end, this is directly from Coach Robert Saleh and also Coach Mike LaFleur as well, stepped up and said, hey, we miscommunicated that play. It was a fault. It was the fault of us. Zach ran the play exactly as it was designed. Exactly as it was designed. But still and yet, you have a lot of people coming out saying that Coach Robert Saleh and the offensive coordinator is just covering for Zach Wilson because Zach Wilson is to blame for that. You have a lot of people in the media trying to stir up this narrative that Zach Wilson is selfish, that he's a diva, and that he wanted to take that game into his hands and win the game itself. And it doesn't matter what's said. It doesn't matter how it's being explained. It doesn't matter who's saying what. Even though the coach himself, the head coach himself, is saying that it's not Zach Wilson's fault, you still have people riding with this narrative that they want to protect Zach Wilson for some reason. And this is my issue about this, and we'll get to the lines in just a second. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Here's my issue with this narrative. People are acting like Zach Wilson hasn't been criticized by this coaching staff publicly. Like, I feel like people get hit by the neuralizer stick. Anybody knows what a neuralizer stick is? It's from Men in Black. You know that stick where they put their shades on, they hit you with the flash, and then you just forget stuff? I feel like a lot of Jets fans and also Jets media is getting hit with that stick constantly this year because I constantly hear people come up with narratives, even though there's facts that can be provided that can blow those narratives up. Here's the facts. This Jets coaching staff has criticized players and themselves publicly consistently throughout this entire year, okay? Let me take you down a little history trip right here. Earlier this season, when Zach Wilson was not playing well and was looking to launch everything down the field and wasn't playing within the offense, you know how we knew that? Because the coaching staff came out and told us that. It was Mike LaFleur. It was Coach Robert Saleh came out and literally said, Zach needs to learn how to play boring football. He needs to learn how to make the easy throws, the check down throws to the running backs, the wide receivers, the tight ends, whoever's out there, and stop trying to launch everything downfield. He's not playing within the offense. I'm going to say it again. They came out and literally said he's not playing within the offense. He needs to make the easier throws. He needs to learn to play within the offense because currently he is not playing within the offense. That is public criticism. He was playing horribly. Earlier this season, Zach Wilson was not playing well. When he threw those 4 interceptions against New England, the coaching staff came out and talked about that. He needs to learn how to take care of the ball. He needs to stop throwing the ball, into places that it should not be. He's got to get better. This coaching staff has not been shy about publicly criticizing Zach Wilson. As a matter of fact, this coaching staff has not been shy about publicly criticizing any player on this roster. Does anybody remember Denzel Mims? I know some of you may have forgot him because he hasn't been playing much, but you know why? Because the coaching staff publicly came out and said that he does not know the playbook well enough to play. Anybody remember that? All the heat that they were taking early. Mike LaFleur, Coach Saleh, both of them came out and literally said, in a nice way, he doesn't know the playbook well enough, he doesn't understand the positions well enough, and we're not going to play him until he does. Not only did they say these things publicly, they followed them up with actions. This dude his ass has been on the bench for I don't know how long. We ain't seen the guy since I don't know when. He's been on the back of a milk carton all season. We are down 3 top wide receivers here. We're down. Our top 3 guys were gone. We're still not seeing him play. Still. Nobody ever sees the guy because they follow that up with action. Not only do they criticize players, they criticize themselves publicly as well. When Mike LaFleur was a guy that everybody damn near was being headhunted by the media and the fan base. There were fans that wanted to fire him during the season. He came out publicly during interviews with our local beat and on the Jets everywhere saying, my play calling is not good enough. The struggles on this offense, the struggles with what's going on here is my fault. I need to figure out how to step up and get better play calls. This was before he went to the booth. Anybody remember that? Because I do. Anybody get hit by the neuralizer stick? Huh? I didn't. I must have my shades on 24 hours a day because I remember all these things, okay? When Saleh was blowing through timeouts and had game management issues, anybody remember all the timeouts that he blew through during the Dolphins game? You know what he did? He came out and said, that is unacceptable. The issues that we had game management-wise are on me, on the coaching staff. We can't have that. And I'm holding myself accountable. He literally said that. These narratives are insane. They're insane. And if you want to know why that's an issue, attracting free agents to come here, and why so many players do not want to play for the New York Jets, why we've had so much of an issue being able to attract players, part of it has been the media. Part of it has been what we're seeing right now being done to Zach Wilson. You can do exactly what the coaches tell you to do and still have people on your back in the media still have fans on your back, even though you're doing exactly what you were told, and the coaches came out and said that he's doing exactly what we're told. It doesn't matter. We're going to make up narratives to drum up drama. That's exactly what's being done. That's part of the reason why we are not a huge destination for free agents. Part of the reason. That's part of the reason why we constantly have to try to overpay guys to get them to come play here. I have to say that because it upset me. 515-602-9639. I'm going to the callers because I want to hear from people. We're going to be talking about the Bucs game. We're going to be talking about Calvin Ridley. There's a lot of people that want to trade for him. We'll discuss that. We're going to be talking about the upcoming game against the Bills. We're going to be talking about what's being done to Zach Wilson in the media. We're talking about it all. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I'm taking all callers, and you call in, be patient. We're getting to everybody, and I'm going to hear your takes. And for those of you that are new, because I do get new callers, when you call in, stay on the line, okay? I have a queuing system. I can see you. You don't have to call in and hang up, call in and hang up, all right? If you do that, you'll be at the bottom of the queue. I'll never hear from you. Salute to everyone, all the savages. Please give the stream a thumbs up wherever you're watching me from, and retweet the stream. Share it with your friends and family. If you can, across your social media platforms, I greatly appreciate it. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and hit that damn notification bell. I'm fired up because that upset me. Having the coaches publicly come out and say he did exactly what we told him to do, and there's still character assassination, is insanity to me. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. I call my chat savages. Why? Because they get after it, and they are savage. Nobody is safe. Nobody. Nobody is safe, not even me. It's time to get to the callers again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. First caller I'm going to is my guy, Chris. Chris, I'm coming directly to you. Salutes to you, Chris.
Everybody,
I want to thank you for calling
stand up. Joe, stand up and let me hear y'all say J-E-T-S. Jets. What a game. What a game.
Let's go, Chris. Bring the energy.
That's right. Let's start this part. Let's start this right, man. Let's talk about it because I'm saying nobody, I don't care who you are, nobody expected this game. We were almost looking at a Super Bowl game against the GOAT of GOATs, Tom Brady. And if anyone says that this was a bad game, come on. Zach Wilson, shot for shot, throw for throw, touchdown after touchdown. The defense saw the offense playing hard, and the defense said, we got to play hard too. And if you are going to talk about anything at all, we all got to be talking about how the heck does anyone not realize that if Michael Carter was still in this game, we would have just ran the ball instead of a QB sneak or instead of passing it to Berrios. Come on, guys. This was a great game. Positive moving forward. Joe, I love your show, man. Preach the truth, my man. Preach it.
Yeah,
wow.
Chris, that's
all right. I'm
that's
good.
What we do here. That's what we do here. I bring the heat and I speak facts. Now, one of the things that you were talking about, because you're already bringing the fire, you talked about, look, the 4th and 2 call, it not working out. Give me your thoughts on how Zach Wilson has been attacked and his character has been attacked since the call didn't work out. What were your thoughts on all of the things that you're seeing from the media and the fan base?
Of course, as a fan base, when you see the game, you ask yourself what happened, and then you're upset. Of course, we're fans. We see what's in front of us. And, of course, once we have the conversation and we hear the conference between the coaches and the players, then you get the understanding. 2 big parts I want to talk about. 1, we are talking about a rookie quarterback. Don't talk about his character. Don't talk about his sense of mannerism. This kid is learning the system. Every single game, every single snap, every single second of a gameplay is a learning experience. And 2, this coaching staff is realizing what they have in front of them, not with just the QB, but with players. And they are learning more and more as the game goes on. I'm sure there were tons of plays that they were going and scrambling through their heads, both on defense and offense, on what they could have done better. Even Mike LaFleur, who is taking all the criticism and is saying himself, this is on me. I got to ask you, Joe, have you ever seen a coaching staff love the players and have players love the coaching staff so much ever seen in the Jets NFL system? Really. It blows my mind. Yeah. It blows my mind that our own okay, I got to calm down a little bit, but it blows my mind it blows my mind that a Jets social media, not social media, but a media of film, even having ex-Jet players trashing this kid. We should be lifting this kid up. You act like this kid is on his third year. That's why I love your channel, man. I love YouTuber Jet fans because we're speaking real. We're saying, how can you trash this kid as if he's already gone through his whole 4 years? No, this is his first year. And what a game. Did we not see those throws in the middle of the field? And he's gunning it to Barrios, to Cole, to the even White, even Smith, who is a seventh-string receiver. And this kid is making him look like almost a pro. Come on. What a game. I was working. I'm a kid working, and I say, the game's going on. I looked at the game on the first quarter. I said, we're beating them? I have to call off work. I got to see this game. And I'm on my seat on the edge. I'm freaking out, man. I'm so looking forward to next year, man. I'm looking so forward to next year. Thank you for your channel, man. Thank you for this. Yeah. Speak the truth. Let's look forward to 2022. Jets going to hit the hunt, man. We're going for the hunt this season. We're going for the hunt. Jets.
Now, my final question for you, Chris, because you brought the heat, man, is what are your expectations from Zach Wilson in this upcoming game against the Bills, and what is your final score prediction as well for the game?
Final score predictions. You know what? Just for final score predictions, I still think Bills are going to play hard game. They're playing for something, something real. I think the Bills are going to come out with a win. Now, as far as what I'm expecting from Zach Wilson, I want him to play it just the same. I don't give a crap about. I want a good draft pick regardless of anything, but I don't care what they're thinking. I want the players to play like they're still playing the Bucs. Like they're pissed off that they lost that last game against the Bills, and they're like, no, we got to prove something. And if they're going for a W, which we all know that they are, everyone's going for a W, go for that W. I want to feel excitement. I want to see Zach Wilson show the world, show the media, show even the people talking about him after a game that he is a great player, that he can throw, and he is the future. Prove everybody that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, Chris, I want to thank you for calling in. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
You too, man. Let's go. Jets coming up, man. Jets.
That's what I'm talking about. We're going to continue with these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking callers. Listen, we're off hot. You know what I'm saying? We are off hot all day, every day. We're coming out with straight fire. Get to it. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy, Donovan. Donovan, I'm coming directly to you. Salutes to you, Donovan. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. How are you feeling, my friend? Give me your thoughts about the play of Zach Wilson against the Bucs, man. How did you feel about his performance?
Joe, what up? Salute to you. I haven't talked to you in a couple weeks. I figure I'll let it, simmer out and let it be what it be until we got some more information. And I just want to bring it back to you when we had the call-in show, or you had the call-in show in August, and you said, who do I think is going to be a surprise player for us? Who did I tell you? I said Braxton Berrios.
You did.
Keep an eye on him. I've been saying this since last year. Braxton Berrios. Pay that man. Pay that man. Don't overpay. Don't overpay now. Keep him in the right price range. You know what I mean? But the man needs to come back in the building. Got to come back. And Zach, anybody who's complaining about Zach, you haven't been watching the progression throughout the season. Like, that was his we've been asking for a full game from him. He's only had, like, you know, a half or maybe a quarter where he looked pretty good, whatever. This was a complete game. If we had a legit tight end and maybe a true number one, man, the kid looks good. I wasn't doubting him, but a lot of my friends is like, oh, we might have to move on from Zach Wilson. But why? We have to wait and see what he is. He's a young kid. And then, sure enough, now they're all talking about, oh, he might actually be okay. I'm like, yeah, you got to relax. You got to let things play out.
Yeah. And so and again, salute to you, Donovan. I want to thank you for calling in. Now, when you look at that call, 4th and 2, which I believe is the call that costed us the game, we weren't able to win the game. We ran a QB sneak on 4th and 2. There was a lot of talk coming from the media, bashing Zach Wilson, talking about his character, talking about all these issues. What were your thoughts about the attacks that you saw or the attacks that you heard about for coming from the media, going after Zach Wilson, calling him selfish and all these things?
I don't even understand it. Like, that's the problem with the New York media. Like, even any team, like, we want everything so fast and we're ready to point fingers at this one, that one. We don't never let things play all the way out. It doesn't matter what team you follow in New York. That's just what it is. Personal level, like Bart Scott was doing, and Willie Colon and who was it, Duzable, I think it is. They were attacking him on a personal level, calling him Peter Pan and smallest legs on the field. Why are you doing all of that? Like, just say what your gripe is and move on. You don't gotta, if you're gonna attack him on his play on the field. Don't attack him on a personal level. Because I think in all actuality, I mean, if you think about what the kid has gone through all year, he's taken accountability for himself the whole entire year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's saying that he has to work on stuff. I mean, what more do you want, like, from the kid? Like, and then they're all on other platforms now. They're getting their interviews, and they're talking about, oh, yeah, Zach played amazing. You went on a 30-minute tirade attacking the kid on a personal level and never talked about how great he played. And I'm a diehard Jet fan. I hate Tom Brady. I would have loved to get the win. But at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. Like, we didn't win the game, but they played amazing. And I think that's what we wanted all year long. We wanted them to play great. If they lose, we can live with that as long as we have something to attach ourselves to. And that's why I think a lot of fans are talking out now, and they're like, yeah, this is all what we asked for. Lose close games. I mean, the way we lost it was terrible. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But once I stepped away a couple hours later, I was like, you know what? They played great. I'm not even mad.
Yeah, and like you said as well, and you brought up a great point. Jets fans really just wanted to see, you know, if we lose, okay, we lose. We understand that, again, a lot of people have lost sight. We're in a rebuilding phase. I don't know if anybody remembers this whole deal, but I feel like I have to keep reminding people we're in a rebuild. Like, we're in the start of an actual rebuild. Right. Stop talking about what McCagnon did. That was not a rebuild. I don't know what the hell that was, but that was not a rebuild. It wasn't a true rebuild. He didn't do it properly. So here we are starting again, right? And we're in the midst of our rebuild. Well, within that rebuild, guess what? You're going to have these situations where you're losing. You're trying to put a team together. We still need to fill gaps with talent, but we want to see the team play well and open that door of hope to show us some light at the end of the tunnel. We want to see you go out there and be competitive on a weekly basis. If you're losing to teams like the Bucs, who honestly are a legitimate Super Bowl threat this year, right? Then there's various other teams too. But as long as you're competing and you're fighting hard and you're out there giving it all that you got, and we see that on the field, we're seeing things work out. The play calling that we're seeing from LaFleur, the coaching ability, I mean, outside of that 4th and 2, but the play calling that we're seeing from LaFleur, and we're seeing the coaching ability from Sulla, because it's also a judgment period for them as well. A lot of people are forgetting. It's not just about the players. It's also about figuring out if they're the proper guys to lead the rebuild. So as long as we're seeing all these things work in concert, and we're seeing all these things out on the field, and they're looking good. We don't have enough, but they're looking good. Then guess what? That gives fans hope to say, you know what? We're headed in the right direction. That's all we want to know, dog. Are we headed in the right damn direction? Go ahead.
And also, if you don't think Echols is a starter, or Bryce Hall is a starter, or Guidry is a starter, or a lot of these guys aren't starters, guess what? They're still playable guys that are in a rookie contract that know they have 1 full year of the system, and they can be rotational guys, and we can build this thing properly, so we're not always for a guy who we can put in and let him learn the system. You have a guy who's a rotational piece who started for you at one point, got a good grasp of the defense or the offense or whatever you're doing, and he's in the system. Mm-hmm. You can rotate him in. If a guy goes down, it's the next man up. You can see it like these other teams. We see other teams, and they're like, oh, their left tackle just went down, and the guy steps in, and he's just as good. And you're like, well, wait, how the heck? That's because they're recruiting these guys and keeping them in the system and keeping them flowing through so everything can progress. That's why when I called a couple of weeks ago, I said, anybody who's mad, what was it? I think I called after the New Orleans game. And I said, anybody who's mad, you can't really be mad. This is the first time. I've been watching the Jets since 98, and this is the first time that I can see since the Parcells and even what we did with Mangold and everything like that. This is the first time we're sitting here and we're looking at it like, okay, we have some pieces here that could be rotational pieces. They can stay for a little while. We have the draft capital. We have the money to do it. You have Joe Douglas. I know we've all been critical about Joe Douglas. Some things he did wrong, but look at what he's done to clear it out, the proper way of how you rebuild. You cleared out your top guys that we thought were top guys. Jamal Adams, Sam Darnold, Leonard Williams, Robbie Anderson. All of those guys that I just named, look what we got back and look what they're doing. I don't even know how you can really be mad as a Jet fan. Like, everybody needs to calm down. This is not the time to be mad no more. It's time to rejoice a little bit. You can relax a little bit, you know?
It is. Yeah, absolutely. And you're completely correct, Donovan, because let me tell you something. The way he hit the Seahawks with that old fleece button for old Jamal Adams, a thing of beauty. Salute to you, Seahawks. Every time I think about getting
enjoy that
for an overrated box safety, it just brings a smile to my face, Donovan. Every time.
And then the offensive line, we've been critical about them. Look at the offensive line, Joe.
Yeah.
You got to give credit when credit's due. I'm not saying that we don't keep upgrading it, but I'm saying you had a lot of plug-and-play pieces in here we haven't even seen Becton all year. Fant goes down. Edoga lets off 1 sack, but for the most part, he kind of held his own. You can't even be mad at it.
Yeah. So when
we didn't even think Feeney was a guy.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, when you look at some of the pieces, and I want to ask you this question because, again, we got free agency coming up. We'll be talking about the offseason, but there's a lot of rumblings about trading for Calvin Ridley. A lot of people are starting to talk about it. What are your thoughts about that, man? Is he a guy that you would give up capital for?
I mean, that's the point of having the draft capital, right? It's not about drafting the next guy, but you have the draft capital to go out there and say, hey, you guys are thinking about moving from Calvin Ridley. Here's a second-round draft pick. You have a known talent instead of trying to make sure this talent is in the right system and he can progress through the NFL. You already seen what he's done. I mean, he's going through something right now. You got to fall back and see where he's at mentally. I think he had a couple of injuries, but, I mean, if you get a Calvin Ridley and a decent tight end to this, listen, this can be turned around.
It can. Listen, and I hear that, and I've gone back and forth with just a few people about this because this is kind of fresh as well, too. And so my initial take on it is I'm not interested in Calvin Ridley, and here's why. You brought up the injuries, right? He has had quite a bit of injuries this season. This is not his greatest season, right? But it's also the issues where they talk about him having a mental illness and not being sure of whether he wants to move forward playing football. That was a big concern with the Falcons this year, right? So for me, I look at it like this. The injuries aside, right, because, again, you can trade for a guy that's been injured. I remember I was advocating over the moon for Robinson that plays with the Bears. I wanted him like crazy. Yeah, he was coming off an ACL tear. But when you have a guy that's questioning whether he wants to play football or not, or where he's at, I don't think I'd want to take a chance on a guy like that. Giving draft capital. You talk about a second. I've heard people talk about, higher than a second-round pick. I've heard people say, hey, they won't give it. Whatever it is, I'm not willing to give up draft capital for a guy that doesn't know whether he wants to suit up next year or not. I'm not willing to do that. Here's why as well.
I'm not the highest
draft
on
capital, him. Yeah, I'm not either. But with that draft capital as well, when you look at what Joe Douglas has been able to do in the draft, with let's say giving up a second-round pick, dude, we got Elijah Moore in the second round. There's other targets that can come out this year as well in the second round. I would love to get another. If we go wide receiver, again, we'll be talking about a lot. There's a lot of options. But if we go wide receiver, I would love to get another young wide receiver to pair here so that we can move forward with them on a cheap contract and have them for years to come here paired with Zach Wilson. I'd rather us do that than go after Ridley in this point. I cannot deal with a guy, or I don't even want to have to deal with a guy that is questioning whether he wants to play football, because let me tell you something. He's in Atlanta right now. You come to New York, that pressure is going to be turned all the way up. You see what we're doing to Zach Wilson. You already let's keep it real. I'm keeping it real, whatever. You already see what's going on with Zach Wilson. That pressure is going to go from wherever it is to Atlanta to the highest. Dude, you've been a Jets fan your whole life just like me. You already see what we do to players here. They will follow him from his house to the facility. We've seen that. We've seen them follow guys to bowling alleys before to film them in their off time. We've seen it all. So that's the reason I want to stay away from Calvin Ridley. I'm more than happy to take a wide receiver, or I know people are talking about even taking a tight end in those seconds and mid-rounds or whatever to give Zach more receiving options. But I'm not interested in Calvin Ridley. The injuries, the question marks about football, I don't want to do it, man. But my next question for you, my friend, is I want to ask you about this upcoming Bills game. Now, you talked about this offensive line. You got Fant going out. You got McGovern out as well. How concerned are you about protection issues going up against this Bills football team? Because you know they're going to bring the heat, bro. They're still playing for something. They're still trying to, make their way, make their push, get that higher seed. Are you concerned that Zach Wilson is just going to be eaten alive and overwhelmed by the pressure and blitzes that the Bills are going to bring to the table?
I mean, we're going to be a run-first team to begin with, so I'm fine with that. But I think Zach can hold his own, because you had guys coming right up the middle at some point, and he was, especially on that screen play that he threw out to the side there to I think it was Berrios. He took him coming right to his face, just dumped it off. He didn't look nervous. He looked comfortable and everything. So, I mean, you got to expect it to happen. But we owe the Bills. So, listen, we owe them. We owe them. It stinks because the Patriots will win the division. But I'm kind of used to the Patriots winning, so I'm fine. I'd rather Buffalo and Miami stay at the bottom of the barrel like us and let one of the crabs out of the barrel. You know what I mean? Keep Buffalo down. Let's beat them. I can deal with the Patriots winning. They've been winning. Who cares?
Yeah.
We owe Buffalo.
You talking that talk.
They knocked us out of the playoffs.
That's a fact.
So
now give me your final score
that's the way I'm
prediction,
looking at it.
Yeah, give me your final score prediction, man. How do you think the game ends up?
I think it's going to be a tight game again. I mean, I'm going to say it's going to be a loss. I'm going to be realistic, but I think it's going to be. I still think we're going to hold our own, and I think it's going to be another late one for them to win it. And I think it's going to be like a 27-20, kind of like what we seen last week. And we're going to be competitive. I think they're ready to go. I think they have that bad taste in their mouth from last week. It could be upset, but I think we'll play well, but we'll lose 27-20.
27-20 Bills. I respect it, Donovan. I respect it. So my last question before I let you go, man, give me your thoughts about this Antonio Brown situation. You watched him walk off the field. Is that the craziest thing that you've seen happen in football?
By far. I mean, we've never seen that, but I mean, I don't even know what to believe about the whole situation, because he's saying there's fractured bones in his foot. My man did jumping jacks the whole way out, though. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Crazy.
He's burned every bridge that any person that was in his corner for anything from Pittsburgh all the way up till now. Like, he's burned all the bridges. So, I mean, I'm not saying he has he does have mental issues. I don't want to put it all on that. Like, at some point, you got to be responsible for yourself. That could have went a totally different way. Like, I get it. If a coach tells you get off my field or you're done or anything like that, but at the end of the day, there's a bunch of stuff my bosses say to me, and I want to do what I want to do, but I'm not going to do that and make myself look crazy. He's crazy. Something's not right.
There's something going on, Donovan, like you said as well.
But I'll take it. If the Jets are the reason why you went crazy and went off the field, hey, that's another notch in our belt. I'll take it. We created Tom Brady, and we just made his world worse because he ain't going to get a chip. He don't got no receivers this year.
All right. Well, salutes to you, Donovan. I want to thank you for calling in. You have yourself a good night.
All right, Joe.
Listen, we're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. Please be patient. We'll get to everybody. If you're watching me, no matter where you're watching me from, please give the stream a thumbs up and a follow as well. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. And when you do subscribe, please hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Share the stream with your friends and your family. I love, coming in contact with different people and having football discussions with everyone. Also, if you like to give to the stream, my super chat is there. You can hit the super chat right in above the chat. Also, if you don't want to hit the super chat, some people just want to hit me in my Cash App. Cash App is right at the bottom of the screen. Anything that you give to the platform is greatly appreciated. So we're going to get back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy, Jacob. Jacob, I'm coming directly to you. Salutes to you, Jacob. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Jacob, give me your thoughts about Zach Wilson, man. How do you feel about his play against the Bucs, and do you think that this is the best game that he's had so far this season?
Hey, what's going on, Joe? Nice to talk to you again. Happy New Year, too, by the way.
Happy New Year to you as well, my friend.
Right when I heard you were going to be talking about Calvin Ridley and everything, I'm like, oh, yeah, I got to call in because you know how I feel about those top wide receivers. But, getting back onto the game, obviously there's a lot to look forward to. It was a well-played game up until the end. But, unlike most Jets fans, contrary to their opinions, I'm not totally thrilled with the result because obviously at the end of the day you want to come out of there with a win. And I get there's stuff to look forward to, and I'm thrilled that it wasn't a blowout. But at the same time, I just think, us being happy and celebrating about close losses is not ideal still. So obviously there's stuff to look forward to, but I'm striving for, wins and, greatness for this team rather than celebrating when the losses are close.
No, listen, and I do hear you. I've had discussions with people about that too, but I think the reason why it makes it a bit easier to stomach is because you know as well as I do, Jacob, that we're still in a building mode right now. This is probably the best team in the NFL, arguably. I know people have, various teams up there, but this is one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFL. This is a team that's going to be competing for a Super Bowl. We are not there yet. We're a team that's still trying to figure things out. We're in a rebuild. We're trying to fill this team with talent at various positions and find our way still. This kid that we got in Zach Wilson, he's a full-blown rookie. We're really celebrating him stepping out and improving in front of our eyes. That's what we're celebrating. We're celebrating him taking a step forward. So for us, for a team that hasn't had a quarterback in I don't know how long, seeing a young guy step out there and continue to show flashes of greatness and then put together a game where we're like, whoa, this kid could really be good if he just continues on his way. And not only that, but continuing to see him talk about getting better. We're hearing players come out and talk about how in the locker room he is becoming a leader. He's demanding greatness from players around him. Those are the things that you need as within your young quarterback or within your quarterback period that's going to drive your franchise forward. So that's what I think we're celebrating there, Jacob.
Yeah, I can see that. And I think there's definitely a lot to look forward to. And, when we're going into the offseason looking for, games to watch again on tape, because obviously over the offseason you got to go back and rewatch old film because there's nothing new coming out all the time, week after week. This is definitely one of the games we're going to want to go back and look at, because when you keep up with the Super Bowl, the reigning Super Bowl team, that's absolute improvement right there. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season, coming in here with a rookie at quarterback, a rookie at running back, rookie at wide receiver, a couple rookies on, at corner, rookie on the offensive line, just rookies all over the place, telling me that we're going to be neck and neck with Tom Brady until the last drive, nobody's believing that. And so I can definitely see where all this, celebration is coming from. All I'm saying is just, instead of getting comfortable now that it's happened once, settling for and being happy with close losses, let's look forward to what we got in the future, but not settle for close losses and be happy when we get wins. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay. No, listen, and I hear you. I think we're all just excited about seeing Zach Wilson improve.
Yeah.
Of course, we want wins. I think everybody wants wins. But watching him improve, and not just him as well, the team itself. And that's where my next question is for you. When you look at Braxton Berrios, who's a guy that really has stepped out, we were down our top 3 wide receivers. He steps in and is really out there making plays, has a receiving touchdown, runs in a touchdown. Dude, isn't this a guy that you should keep for the future? Is he a must-re-sign for you to keep him around this Jets facility?
Yes, without a doubt. He's like our own. I'm not saying he's Deebo Samuel, but in terms of how Deebo Samuel is utilized for the Niners, that's like what Braxton Berrios has done for us, it feels like. And so I really think right when we got to the contract extension of John Franklin Myers, that for me was like the turning point of, okay, we're no longer tanking, trying to get picks for as long as possible. When we see we have talent in the building, we're going to start trying to keep it around. And so I'm very confident that we're going to make that same type of move with Braxton Berrios. Now, I don't think he's going to get, in the $10+ million a year range, but I would say if we can get him for something like 4 years, $24 million, 4 years, $26 million, something around there where he's $6-7 million a year, I think that's fantastic value, because people like him are very, very underappreciated, because people underestimate the special, or I guess the greatness of a good returner too. Having a good returner is really, really useful. And that's why when we let go of Andre Roberts a few years ago, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, because this dude was a Pro Bowl return specialist for us. It just seemed like every time he got the ball in his hands and he didn't call for a fair catch, we all just expected it to go for a touchdown. And then we let him walk for nothing. And so now that we have something like that in the building again, knowing that he's a great return specialist, along with how quick he is, and we know he has reliable hands, he doesn't drop anything, it seems like, that's something you have to keep on, or you have to hold on to, and something we've got to re-sign him.
And like you said as well, and that was another thing that I was talking about earlier too, was not only, the on-the-field stuff, the stuff he gives us in the slot is phenomenal, but the return ability, the special teams ability, like you said as well, a lot of people don't understand how a great returner or a good returner will impact the game. Dude, that literally can give us great field position. It sets our offense up for good drives. He could set us up for short drives. If you look at what we've done this year, a lot of our offensive drives have been set up because he was a solid return. We had a solid return from him, and he set us up in really good field position. That's huge, especially, again, when you talk about a young quarterback. You want to go as short as possible to the end zone if you can. You don't want to have to do 99-yard drives constantly. You know what I'm saying? So he's giving us something there. So I would love to see him brought back. To me, as well as you, I think he is a guy that's must sign. I don't want to dramatically overpay, but I do want to make sure that we can get him in for a comparable deal between us and him and make him, a Jet for a little bit, a while to come. I really want to see him continue to play for it.
And that's why I think the $6 million range is a pretty good range, I feel like. Somewhere between $5 and $7 million a year seems fair.
Yeah. So when you look at this defense now, you talk about young players, we're seeing Echols really step up, man. I mean, this guy's played really well, so far this season when he's been out there. Again, he's been nicked up here and there, but, dude, when he's playing, he's solid out there. Do you think him and Hall could be our cornerbacks of the future, or would you still look to, continue to address that position in the offseason?
Yeah, if they are the corners going into the future and we're keeping them as the starters, I'd be perfectly content with it, because I think they've done their job. Obviously, Bryce Hall has been phenomenal. I think you could argue he was the steal of the entire draft last year. He's been, obviously, the stats that everyone looks at for corners are just, interceptions and tackles and, stuff like that. But when you go into the other things that also do count as well, like pass breakups and quarterback rating while being targeted and things that matter but don't get shown on the stat sheet, he's like at the top of all those lists. And so he's definitely somebody who I can see us holding on to without a doubt. Brandon Echols has been solid. He hasn't been as good as Bryce Hall, but he's done his job too, covering the number 2 guy on most teams. For a 6th-round rookie, he's been way better than I think any of us would have anticipated. So I would love to see us hold on to him in the future, even if it's as a rotational guy. He's definitely somebody who's, proven he's worthy of sticking around too.
Yeah, I think he is as well. And also we're continuing to see the great play of C.J. Mosley. This dude is flying around. There was a lot of question marks about him coming into this season, but let me tell you something. C.J. Mosley has put his stamp on this season. This guy is just destroying people. He is the guy out there. He's a leader within our defense, and he's played very well for us. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about as well, Jacob, is the whole Calvin Ridley situation. You wanted to talk a little bit about it earlier. Give me your thoughts on it, man. There's a lot of people, for some reason now, that are, I know that there's been issues with him in Atlanta. They're saying that in the offseason they would love to see the New York Jets trade for him. Give me your thoughts on that, man. Is he a guy that you would give up draft capital for?
Yes, without a doubt, because I can see where you're coming from totally, where the mental side of it is not 100% sure. But I did see a tweet from like an NFL insider that said something, around a 2nd and a 4th could get you there. And so essentially, to me, what that says is with our 2nd and 4th, keeping in mind that we have an extra 2nd and we have an extra 4th, in a sense, if we trade a 2nd and a 4th for Calvin Ridley, we're essentially trading Sam Darnold and Chris Herndon for Calvin Ridley in a 6th-round pick. And so you can't get much better than that in terms of a trade, because when he's on the field and he's healthy, we've seen how good he's been. And I get the mental side of it can be a little bit of a risk, but I just see the reward is much higher than the risk. And the good thing is the draft isn't next weekend or something like that. We have until end of April. And so that's, a good 3 months for things to get figured out. By then, he's made it clear that he has no interest in playing football for the foreseeable future. Then I don't think we take a chance on that if he's made it bright and clear that he doesn't want to play football anytime soon. But if things are starting to get figured out and he's getting back into football shape and, posting about it here and there, tweeting about it, whatever he's doing, saying I'm happy to be back and get going again, then I think we definitely take that chance for a 2nd and 4th round pick. Because at the end of the day, I've always been of the mindset of you take the guaranteed good player over the potential player in the draft, if that makes sense. Because in the 2nd round, there's definitely guys who are going to become, potential stars, even superstars you can find in the 2nd round from time to time. But not every 2nd round pick is going to be an Elijah Moore or a Javonte Williams or a JOK or anything like that. And so when you have the opportunity to take a potential top 15 wide receiver by just giving up a 2nd and a 4th, I say yes 10 out of 10 times as of right now.
Listen, Jacob, and I hear you. I've had this discussion with many people that said the exact same thing. But again, for me, that mental stuff, the questioning whether he wants to play football, the issues with whatever he's got going on mentally, makes me want to steer away from that. And especially when you look at where we're at within our rebuild, I think that we're a team. I know you said it looks like you gave away Sam Darnold and another player, but again, you look at the draft that we've had. We've been able to get Elijah Moore in the 2nd round and Carter in the 4th. What if you can find 2 more playmakers just like them, or 2 guys that can play defense that can make plays just like they're making on offense? I'm taking that all day, and that's why I think I think Calvin Ridley is very talented, but all those question marks for me specifically when you look at the New York Jets, I'm a guy that I know a lot of things are based on luck. I love to roll the dice. All right, when you look at our luck, it ain't so good. It ain't so good. All right, like I don't like to tempt fate too much. All right, so when you look at whatever's going on with him in Atlanta, when he comes to if we were to trade for him and he comes to New York, it's going to get put on full blast. There is nothing you can keep away from the media here. When you look at what the media is doing to Zach Wilson, you look at what they've done to other players in the past. They've had field days with people. Remember the stuff that they were doing with Le'Veon Bell? I mean, it was ridiculous at one point. There was one point where we had a bunch of unnamed sources that used to report on the team and all kind of crazy things that we've had going on here. So when you have a guy that has some of the issues that he has, I don't think that the New York base here, some of the things that we have going on here. I don't know if that would fit him well, and I think that would absolutely make the situation worse to turn it up. I would rather take that capital and get younger players in here, especially when you're looking at the draft wizard that Joe Douglas has been so far. He's really been able to bring guys in that have had impact, immediately. Again, we're looking at Elijah Moore having impact immediately. Michael Carter having impact immediately. There's other draft picks that will impact immediately. You know what I'm saying? I would want us to go that route. But, again, I understand those that want to go after really. I'm just not interested. Go ahead, Jacob. I'll give you the last word on that one.
Yeah. I can 100% see where that comes from. But at the same time, we got to remember two things. First of all, Calvin Ridley, he's not getting to the age where wide receiver starts to regress. He's not this 29, 30, 31-year-old wide receiver. He's like 23, 24. He is still in the heart of his prime and can get even better. And so the other thing we have to think about is, obviously, Joe Douglas's 2021 draft has been a success. 20 draft. We were all so hyped up about it and everything and all excited. Now, Mekhi Becton, when on the field, has been great. But then you go to the second round. Denzel Mims already talked of him being cut. Third round, Ashton Davis, been extremely underwhelming. Obviously, Bryce Hall was a great pick in the fifth round. Braden Mann was good in the sixth round. But other third-round pick, Jabari Zuniga, he's on the practice squad or something like that. So he's had success from time to time in the draft, but he is not this all-knowing draft wizard who every pick he has is going to be a guaranteed Pro Bowler or star in our system. And that's been proven by a second-round pick last year, 2 third-round picks last year. I think the James Morgan pick in the fourth round, too, I don't even know if he's on the team anymore. And so we're talking about a second and a fourth-round pick. That's Denzel Mims and James Morgan right there. And so obviously the second and fourth round this year were a tremendous success with Elijah Moore and Michael Carter. But recency bias plays a lot into a lot of what people think from time to time. And when it comes to something like this, we think, a second-round pick automatically, connects with Elijah Moore, and a fourth-round pick automatically connects with Michael Carter. But then you go back 1 year further and step away from the recency bias a little bit, and you see that the second and fourth-round picks aren't even seeing the field anymore. And so I just think, as good of a GM as he is, and I love him as a GM, I think he's one of the best in the league. When that opportunity comes, it's time that we start taking a little bit of risk. And it's not like we're giving up our last draft picks. We still have 2 first-round picks, and if the guy isn't there that he wants in the first round with one of our picks, probably the later one, which is still going to be in the top 10, he could very easily trade down, to, let's say if we're at 7, he could trade down to 11, 12, still get a phenomenal player who's probably a guard or an edge or whatever he wants to do, acquire an extra second-round pick or a couple extra seconds next year or whatever it is, and still come away with a fantastic player at 12. So when we have these opportunities to add stars in the draft, knowing it's not our only second-round pick. We've got 2 second-round picks. I think you got to go for it.
No,
it's time that we step away from the, I just think it's time that we take a little bit, if possible, of a step away from everything being so central or focused on, the draft. And, these opportunities don't come all the time. It's not often that you see when healthy, top 15 wide receiver available on the market for that cheap. So I think it's time that we start taking those risks because, go ahead.
Listen, and I hear you. But again, when you talk about why he's so cheap, there's a reason. There's a reason. And we've taken chances on guys before in the past that has kind of worked out and then not worked out so well. Again, Brandon Marshall, we took a chance on him as well, brought him in. He played well for us. But then if you look at the tail end of, before we had to get him out of here, there was big-time issues. And what happened? We had to clear a lot of those other guys out of here as well when we had some team turnover there because there were so many issues in the locker room. If this guy is a guy that is questioning whether he wants to play football, and, again, there's other issues as well that comes with him, again, I'm not a guy that wants to take that type of capital a second round, especially for a team that's still in the rebuild that needs help because, like you said as well, that second first-round pick, I'm thinking that's going to be edge because at this point, Linderbaum is my target at the top of the first. I want to take a center
absolutely.
At 5, and if he's there, I've been very clear about that. You know what I'm saying? I've been very clear about that, and I'm going to keep saying that. You know what I'm saying? And I love to have these discussions. But for me, I'm trading down with that first, and I'm getting some edge. And then in the second, if edge is still there, I'm taking it again. And I know y'all going to call me crazy, but I would look to take edge again as well with the other second-rounder. because I want as many guys as possible that's going to be able to rush the passer. When you look at how the Giants won the Super Bowl, they had multiple guys that can rush the passer. You look at how the Bucs are winning the Super Bowl, they have multiple guys that can rush the passer. We're in a passing league. We haven't had a pass rusher, and I don't know how long, and we're all expecting
Well,
Carl
now remember,
Lawson
we do have Carl Lawson coming back, yeah.
Yeah, but again, he's coming back from a torn Achilles. You're expecting a guy coming back from a torn Achilles to give you 15, 16 sacks off the bat? No, I don't necessarily.
I'm not expecting that.
Exactly. So I don't know what he's going to come back as at this point. And again, if we're Jets fans, we know how things roll around here, right? If anything bad can happen, it's going to happen. You know, that's kind of how it works around here. Anything bad that's going to happen is going to happen. So I would like to get us multiple pass rushers in this draft. You know, even if we don't take another pass rusher with that second round pick, you also got to look at, you know, a lot of people want wide receivers as well. I could see some people saying that too. So I just think that there are so many different things that you can do to not only help bolster the defense, which is what we need. We haven't had a pass rusher in 60 years. I don't, you know, last guy I remember that could rush the passer consistently was John Abraham. That was it. You know what I'm saying? We had Aaron Maben for a little bit, but we haven't had anybody since then. We need to make that a focus. And we need to make that a focus because that's literally how Sulla's defense is predicated. It's predicated off of pressure.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You don't have to have amazing safeties. That's why I don't want to take a safety at 5. We'll be talking about that tonight as well. A corner, that's fine. I would look at corner. But if you look at how we're supposed to be built, we're supposed to literally be built like the 49ers. The 49ers bring pressure. They got Bosa. They got Warner. They got all these guys that just come off the edge and make it a long day for your quarterback. You got to like 2 seconds to figure out what you want to do with the football. Either you're going to get hit and it's going to be a strip sack, or you're going to throw an interception because you have no clue where the ball should be going. You're just trying to get it out. That's how this defense is predicated, from the front to the back, not from the back to the front. That's why I don't want a safety. I'm so tired of arguing with guys about safeties too, Jacob, on just Twitter. I just had enough. Go ahead, Jacob. Give me your thoughts on this.
Okay, yeah, so the Kyle Hamilton thing I see completely. But when you go back and look at, like, have you ever seen, you know, when people do, like, a couple of years in the future, they go back to one of the old draft classes and they do, like, a redraft where what I would do if I was the GM of this team now and everything, and all the really good players who were steals, you know, get picked in the top 10 and everything. Derwin James got taken at pick number 17 in real life. And if you go back to like a 2017 redraft or something and he's not in the top 10, all the comments are just, well, how could Derwin James not be there? He's the best safety in the NFL, this and that. And I just think Kyle Hamilton is so much more than just your prototypical safety, because he can play weak side linebacker. He can rush the passer, you know, and if that's what our defense is built on, having guys who can get to the quarterback, he's exactly that, because he's not just a regular 6 foot, 200-pound safety. He's 6'4", 235, 240, whatever he is. He can play safety. He can cover tight ends. He can rush the passer better than Jamal Adams can. And we're going into more of a, you know, a positionless football type of movement and era, it seems like, where safeties are playing linebacker. Micah Parsons going into the draft, nobody knew. Is he a linebacker? Is he a safety? Is he an edge rusher? What is he? You know, he can play all around the place like that. These guys who play, you know, positionless football, same thing with Deebo Samuel, and like what we're doing with Braxton Berrios. We use them as running backs, wide receivers, all this and that. And when you put somebody like that, like Kyle Hamilton, in a situation where it's a defense strictly built on getting to the passer and using guys in creative ways, that's exactly what I see us being able to do with him. Now, I would not take him at 4 if there's Derek Stingley there, or Evan Neal as a tackle, or one of those 2 top edge rushers in Hutchinson or Thibodeau. I'm taking all of those over the safety. But if we want to trade down with that second pick, which right now is at 7, if it stays at 7 and we want to trade down to 10, 11, and we acquire an extra second this year and next year and all this, and he's still there, I have no issue with us taking him there, because he's so much more than just a safety.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but, you know, and again, I think the kid's phenomenal, but he is a safety in my book. I understand that he could be moved around, and we hear a lot of – there's been other guys that is Jabril Peppers, I believe they were saying the exact same thing about him. He could be moved around. We've seen that with other guys as well that could be moved around. But at the end of the day, he's a safety. Jamal Adams, they were saying the same thing. Dude, he's a hybrid player. He can be moved around. That's phenomenal. He's a safety. All right, when you look at the situation here, I think there's positions of impact. We could not take a safety that high in the draft. And I know that you talked about a lot of different things, but we cannot take a safety that high in the draft. you have to go and address positions of impact. We just did that when we took Jamal Adams earlier in that draft with McCagnon, and we never really properly addressed position of impact, and we've seen what that happened with us. I'm looking at the board, and I'm just saying, look, you get the pass rusher. You get the guy that's going to rush the passer. You get the guy that's going to bring the heat. And also you make sure that you get yourself an offensive line to protect Zach Wilson, because let me tell you something. Absolutely. We ain't going to have much of nothing if he keeps tearing his PCL or tears his ACL next season, because Connor McGovern or Greg Van Roten or whoever the hell we got playing center or guard cannot stop the interior pressure. So that's a big issue. But, again, we're going to be having a lot of discussions. Yeah, we're going to be having a lot of those discussions going forward for the draft. So my final question, before I let you go, Jacob, you've been bringing the heat tonight, man. Give me your final score prediction for the upcoming game against the Bills, man. How do you think this game ends up? What do you think happens?
Realistically, I think it's a loss, but I think we're definitely going to keep a fight up, and we're going to, play with heart and everything, just like it's a playoff contention game, but I see it being like a 27-23 loss or something like that.
Okay. 27-23 loss. Wow. 27-23 loss for the Bills. Jeez. Here's what it is, though. Listen, salutes to you, Jacob. I got to get back to these lines. You have yourself a good night, all right, my friend?
All right, you too. Happy New Year.
All right, have a good one. Salutes to Jacob for calling in. Again, we're getting back to these lines, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers again when you're on the lines. Please be patient. We'll get to everybody. We got callers. We're going to get to everybody and hear everybody's takes, though. I want to respect everybody's time. So next we're going to my guy, Steve. Steve, we're coming directly to you. We want to talk to you tonight about Zach Wilson. How are you doing tonight, Steve? Again, I want to thank you for calling in. Give me your thoughts about Zach Wilson play against the Bucs, and how are you feeling about the media going after him and his character after the 4th and 2 play call not working out?
Hey, Joe. Well, first off, it's always great to hear from you, man. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm doing great. How about yourself? And Happy New Year to you as well, my friend.
Hey, you too, man. So, okay. So now I've been waiting to finally get a chance to talk to some people about, going back to last week's game. As going into last week, when we were playing against the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I really, 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 really thought at first that we were going to get our butts kicked in that game, because the Buccaneers were the defending Super Bowl champion, and they're playing for something right now, not like what the Jets are playing for now. But I got to tell you something. I thought last Sunday was the best game I saw Zach Wilson have the whole entire season. It was the first time, I think, he threw for over 200 yards in the game. Most of his passes were complete. He was throwing dimes in that game against Tampa Bay, and his throws were phenomenal. And I'll tell you one thing, Braxton Berrios, I got to tell you something. He deserves to have an extension with us. He absolutely earned the contract extension. He absolutely earned it. So now I want to talk about the 4th and 2 play with you. Listen, here is the thing about going for it on 4th and 2. I did like the idea because, and I did understand why, because you don't want to give Tom Brady the ball back. You don't want to give Brady the ball back with under 2 minutes left in the game, because obviously we've seen what Brady did before. And honestly, that play was what really hurt the game. That play was what really did hurt this game. And the one thing that I did like about what Coach Saleh and Mike LaFleur said after that game, that play call was on us. It wasn't on Zach Wilson. It was on us. And you know something? That is something that I did like what Robert Saleh and Mike LaFleur did. They took that play call to themselves. They didn't blame it on Zach. They didn't blame it on the team. And I mean, here was the thing. Here was the thing. That to me is a good learning experience for Robert Saleh, because as a rookie head coach he is, and as a rookie offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur is, that is something that they need to learn as the future goes on with this team. And now, Joe, before I let you talk, I got to talk to you about the media. I don't understand how the media can bash Zach Wilson. I don't understand how they can bash Zach Wilson after that game. He just played one of the best games of his rookie season against a really good football team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the media decides to still bash him just because he couldn't get the job done. Listen, this was a game we weren't even supposed to be in. This was supposed to be a game where Tom Brady and the Buccaneers were supposed to blow us out. Well, guess what? This past Sunday, that did not happen. We played a good, competitive football game throughout the whole entire game, just except for the last portion of the game. You know, the thing is, Joe, I don't understand either from when Bart Scott and Willie Colon even bashed him after the game. Like, I don't understand the media at all. Even the other thing the media went after, Brandon Echols, when he picked off Tom Brady. Brandon Echols, even after the game, went to Tom Brady and asked Tom Brady very nicely, can you sign this football for me in honoring that I picked you off in this game? And Brady actually took exception. I was even surprised that Brady would sign a football for a young defensive player. I will say this. If we had beaten the Buccaneers, Tom Brady would have just walked right off the field after the game. He wouldn't go out and shake hands. He wouldn't go out and, done that. The only reason why he was out on the field after the game was because the Buccaneers beat us. So, Joe?
I mean, it was crazy, Steve. You know, and you've already brought a pretty fire breakdown. You're bringing it. I thought that Zach Wilson played well as well. I think he looked good. There was a lot of quality throws from him, throws in the tight spaces, putting the ball where only his wide receivers could get it. I was very impressed by his showing. And again, like I said earlier, I think this is the best game that he's had this season. Now, let me tell you something. The media bashing, I didn't understand it either, especially when the coaches literally came out and said, that they were the guys that called the play. You know, they were the guys that miscommunicated what was supposed to happen, and Zach did exactly what he was supposed to do. And then you had guys try to double down and come back and say, well, they're just trying to protect Zach. They're just trying to do that. There's literally nothing the coaching staff can say to convince some people that it was their mistake and that Zach Wilson was in the right. Because it just is what it is. There's people that want to make up narratives. It's not like we haven't seen LaFleur make a bad play call this season. We've seen that. We've seen that. We were all over his back for the first half of the season because there was issues play calling wise. So I don't understand these weird narratives that are going on about. I don't understand what's going on and why people want to bash him, but it's ridiculous. It's just media being media. But one of the things that you talked about as well was the play of the defense. Echols getting that interception. Hall has been playing well for us. I've really been enthralled by what they've done. But what are your thoughts about C.J. Mosley, man? He's really been flying around out there, really doing his thing, right?
Oh, no, absolutely. I think without a doubt this year, C.J. Mosley has been the best defensive player we had. And earlier this week when he did talk to the media, after he received the Curtis Martin MVP award this year, which he absolutely did earn out of any player this year, one thing that Mosley is going to try to do is he is going to try to recruit free agents for next season to come to play for us. And that's a good thing. And just going back to, and the one thing, Joe, that you got to give credit to Saleh is that Saleh blamed that, going back to that 4th and 2 call, he blamed it on himself. Hey, listen, if Adam Gase was still our coach, he would have blamed it on his quarterback. He wouldn't blame it on himself.
Yeah, it's crazy. So my next
Adam
question
Gase
for you,
was
Steve.
still our coach.
Yeah, I'm glad he's gone. So when you look at this upcoming game against the Bills, what are your expectations of Zach Wilson in this game, man?
So here is my thing about this game against Buffalo. Listen, I asked a question to Jet fans earlier this week about going into this game against Buffalo. Do we want to win the game or do we want to lose? Some Jet fans are praying for a win this Sunday, but there are some fans that wouldn't mind if we would lose this game because, Buffalo, because here's the thing. Going into this Sunday, Buffalo is leading the AFC East as of right now. And if they do beat us on Sunday, they win the AFC East title for the second year in a row. And the thing is, listen, I would like to see the Jets play a good competitive game against Buffalo like we did last Sunday against Tampa Bay. I mean, but the thing is, it's in Buffalo. And here is the one thing that could also be a challenge for this game. The weather may not be that good in Buffalo, so there may be a time where the quarterbacks, either Allen or Wilson, may not throw the ball. I mean, Josh Allen is coming off of a game where he did throw 3 picks against the Falcons. But you know something? The Bills are a very, very loaded, talented team. I would like to see the Jets put up a much better fight against the Bills than we did the first time when we played them. Because listen, the first time we played them, they beat us 45-17, and they beat us bad. And when I mean they beat us bad, they beat us bad the last time we played them. I want to see the Jets give Buffalo a good, competitive football game this Sunday. Even if we lose, Joe, I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Now, give me your final score prediction for this game, Steve. How do you think it ends up?
So here is my thing about the final score for this game. I am still going to give the win to Buffalo because it is in Buffalo, and Buffalo is a better football team than we are. I think the Jets will definitely keep it close. I'm going to go 28 Buffalo, 24 Jets.
28-24 Buffalo.
Hey, listen, Joe,
listen, Steve.
one last thing I'm going to tell you before you let me go. So earlier this week or earlier today, Michael Carter had an interview and spoke about Robert Saleh. Michael Carter even said Robert Saleh brings life to football. We know that this season has not been the season we want to have. You know, we want to be better as the years go on. But Robert Saleh is a player's coach. Players love playing for him. That is a great sign to see. I mean, I know we're going to talk about free agency and the draft, Joe, but I want to talk to you more about it when the offseason happens. But you know something, Joe? I think going into 2022, the Jets are – I do see a bright direction with this team. Let's see what happens.
Absolutely.
All gas, no brakes.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
Absolutely, and I absolutely agree with you, Steve. Again, I want to thank Steve for calling in. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. Please, when you call in, be patient. We're going to get to everybody. Salutes again, Angelo. Salutes to you as well. Call back if you can. But we're going to now go to my guy in North Carolina, all right? This is my guy, man. It's my guy from North Carolina. Chris Venom will come to you in a second. This is my guy from North Carolina. He knows his Jets. Listen, salutes to you, my friend. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. We're talking Zach Wilson. We're talking about the game against the Bucs. Give me your thoughts about the situation with Zach Wilson, how he played against the Bucs, and what were your thoughts about the media bashing that followed this Bucs game as well that, you know, kind of came upon Zach Wilson?
I didn't like it. I think it was in poor taste. And I would think some of the more seasoned NFL experienced players would know better. And I was very disappointed with what occurred with the cast with Bart Scott and some of those people up there, because I do watch the network and I do tune in. And I think I would expect better of our own networks to do a little bit better than the traditional beat writers. You know, you don't expect any better of them, but our own people, you know, expect them to do a little better than this. And hopefully the fans will put them on notice that you can't continue to do this. Otherwise, we're gonna cancel you. We're gonna put you off the air. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna pull the plug on our support because we do have a right to do that. You know, the world has changed thanks to you and other providers out there who have done great work on YouTube. You know, it's given us other options and we've had an opportunity to see what good content is actually like. You know, without a lot of, I guess what the word for it, yellow journalism and that kind of thing. And I think you guys have really, really changed the game. So I think they're being put on notice that they're going to have to do better. You know, and I'm looking forward to our future. I really like what we got going on. I'm really, really comfortable more and more with Zach Wilson. I had my concerns about him early, you know, because I'm not used to seeing a rookie young quarterback having to go out there and play so early. You know, there was a time we used to watch the NFL when quarterback, I think Chad Pennington was one of the last of his generation that had to sit about a year or so before he even got an opportunity to play. And, you know, kind of a little bit of a shock to our system to have to go through a rough turbulent period, and a lot of people weren't used to that. Seeing a rookie actually look like a rookie. And I think it's okay, though. He's turning it around. He looks tremendous. I'm really excited about the possibilities with the draft coming up to even add more talent for him. You know, I'm already looking at some guys early. You know, Jameson Williams, the Evan Neals, the Tyler Linderbaums, the Trey McBrides. And there's another name that I'm going to start throwing out there to some people. He's a dark horse, but he is really an excellent tight end. He's not traditional. He's a little bit undersized, but he's really, really good. His name is Brent Keating from Utah. I think you're going to want to take a look at this guy. He is tremendous. He doesn't run like your typical tight end. He runs like a running back playing tight end. He's fast. He's actually throwing spin moves on people and making them look bad and basically taking it to a foot race to the end zone. That's how good this guy is. So you may hear his name mentioned. I think he's going to enter the draft. I think this is his what they call it, sophomore or senior year. So I'm expecting to enter the draft. I was looking for him last year, and I didn't see his name announced. You know, when the picks started going off the board, I looked for him. I said, I don't know what happened to this guy. Like, he disappeared. I said, oh, okay. Found out later he went back to school. So I'm hoping he'll come out this year. And this is a cat the Jets should keep their eye on. I know they're looking for probably a more traditional tight end, so I'm not opposed to that. Trey McBride looks really good. My man Stuckett over Ohio State, you know, they played with my man Justin Fields. He looks good. He's long, 6'7", and he looks very impressive. But the Jets should also have their eyes on Keating from Utah. He can function like an H-back. I can see this guy with his speed and his tools. They say he used to run track. I read his scouting reports, and they say this guy used to run track. I see why he's so fast for a tight end. You know, he's fast.
When you look at some of the, and you're talking right now about the draft, and again, we'll get into a lot of those discussions. We've had a lot of that tonight. I've been big on Tyler Linderbaum as well, taking him high at 5. I've had the arguments with people that want to take safeties. I'll continue to have those arguments. The second first-round pick, we've talked about that. But one of the things that a lot of people are trying to discuss right now as well that we're hearing kind of float around is that a lot of Jets fans and even some media want to see the New York Jets trade for Calvin Ridley. A lot of people say they want to give up a second-round pick. I've heard some people say they want to give up higher than a second-round pick. What are your thoughts about this idea on this trade of moving some capital to get Calvin Ridley? Are you a guy that wants to see the Jets do that?
I'm not too high on it because to me, unless he's got some years left on that contract where we don't have to worry about extending him a long-term contract, I'm not too keen on giving up draft picks for wide receivers. I'd rather draft one, have it 4 years of control, and the fifth year I think is optional. And I'd rather go that route because I'm looking at Jameson Williams. And they say this other cat named William Wilson. I've seen a little bit of him. He kind of reminds me almost like a slightly lesser version of Elijah Moore, like the same type of wideout. Very crafty and really, really good at what he does. He might be a dark horse that the Jets might want to take a look at because this kid, Wilson, is as good as he looks, and Jameson Williams from Alabama just looks scary. I mean, he looks fast. I've seen him on special teams. He's literally taking it to the house on special teams and making tackles on kicks and punts. This guy looks like he's really versatile and really, really talented. I think if you put Jameson Williams with his game-breaking ability with Elijah Moore on the other side, all of a sudden you have a very scary and dangerous wide receiver core that will change and dictate the way teams play us. They won't be able to just play us any old kind of way and just line up man. They will have to do a lot of zone. Even if they show us man looks, they're going to have to play zone against us, which will give Zach Wilson a chance to really kind of throw darts and sit back there and just, look for the openings in the defense and just throw the ball, and just do those kind of things, which we know he's very good at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm kind of thinking more to just draft a wide receiver rather than give up all those draft picks. I mean, with our luck, we haven't been very lucky, making these kind of trades. Sometimes these things might backfire on us. I'd rather go on and look to the draft.
Yeah. So when you look at our wide receiver course, as you talked about, lining Elijah Moore up with another guy we drafted. In your mind, is Braxton Berrios a must re-sign as well to keep around, to help that wide receiver core in certain spots and also give us a little bit of special teams help going into the future?
Oh, yeah, yes, very much so. He seems to be a good fit with us. He seems to really love playing for the Jets. And I'm hearing the good news that they're already, as we speak, in negotiations. So that's a promising sign to bring this cat back. So he's versatile. And we've had guys like that before. Like, you remember Chad Bowen back in the day, who we silly let him go to the Redskins. Remember that? And then Leon Washington, Brad Smith. So we've had guys like this that been two-way guys. Even, I think you might be old enough to remember Bobby Humphrey. They used to play corner. He was a top-notch kick returner. I think he led the NFL or the AFC in kick return yardage, and he was magnificent in his day. So it's good to have a guy that's versatile. You know what I'm saying? He could do some special teams work and do it very, very well on a high level and also contribute to your offense. So I say, why not? Why, even if we had to, let's say, pay him just a little more, it's not going to be anything crazy, but just pay him a little more because I see that special teams value, that two-way value, where you can save a roster spot instead of having two different guys to do, serve in two different roles. If you have one guy that can serve in various different roles, that can kind of, save your roster spot like it did back in the day with Leon Washington and Brad Smith, under Rex Ryan. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you look at this Jets defense, this is something as well when we continue to talk about the draft and we're continuing to talk about going forward. One of the things that we've seen is this cornerback. These two young cornerbacks in Echols and Hall, in my mind, they're playing well, man. We look at these guys, you look at what they did against the Bucs. Do you look at them as cornerbacks of the future, or do you feel like we need to continue to address the cornerback position?
I think we'll have an opportunity to add on to the group we have. I think we have a solid core. I really like what the work they're doing, as you stated so well. But I think looking toward free agency, that's something to keep an eye on if we can get something done. If not, I say if we could get Bryce Hall in the 5th round, I would think we should be able to find a good corner in the 2nd round. Looking at what Joe Douglas has done and his ability to scout and evaluate talent, I trust him. And I'm extremely confident in his ability to find us a corner early. If not with the first picks, I know Stingley's name has been widely thrown around because I do a lot of YouTube. I'm a YouTube junkie. And I check you out and all the other Jets platforms 24/7. And I know various ones have Stingley going to us. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not opposed to taking him. I've seen his video. He's magnificent. He's Revis-like, making crazy acrobatic interceptions. That's the level he's on. The only concern is the medical red flags around him are a little scary. It reminds me of another corner that we selected. You remember after we traded Revis? You know what I'm talking about. And we traded Revis. I'll never forget it. And I kind of like this guy. He seems like he's going to be solid, maybe be a very good pro. But then there's this little nagging thing. He just seemed to stay hurt. Every time you look, there's like little injuries. And this guy can never quite get on the field. It looked like he was going to come back maybe in a couple of weeks, and then something would happen, and then he would kind of disappear. And then when he did get on the field, you could see where his progress was stuntified because he wasn't as sharp, and he started getting beat a little bit. And all of a sudden, he would just disappear. And you wouldn't see him again. You wonder what's going on, and find out he's hurt again. So I mean, I'm a little nervous about taking Stingley. Yeah, that's right. But I trust that Joe Douglas is going to do his medical reports on Stingley. And the key thing for Stingley, he's got to be healthy. He's got to be able to participate in all the workouts, and whenever they have the combine workout, that's going to be the key for him. If he can participate in those and hit them out of the ballpark and do what I think his skill set dictates, then, things are subject to change, and maybe Joe Douglas might consider selecting Stingley. But if there are question marks about his ability to participate in those workouts, you can forget it. If he can't do the combines and he can't do some of this stuff, and all of a sudden those questions arise about his health, no. If the Jets do take him, they will take him off a major trade down. That means the Jets will trade down from 4. They'll trade all the way down in the teens, and Stingley could slide to them. Then they will take him.
I'll tell you what, medical concerns like that, I learned my lesson. I was a big, when we drafted D. Milner, I was like, yo, this guy's going to be something special here. Like you said as well, he had the talent. We also watched him have games, flashes. I remember there was a game against the Browns where he covered, their top wide receiver at the time. And, man, it was phenomenal. But we never saw games like that again as well. Like you said, he stayed hurt. He was always hurt. It was always something, and he was never able to really amount to anything here because he was always seeing, the injury list. So, any injury concerns like that, anytime I hear
so much time like that, and with injuries, it stunts their progress. Some of them, they can't really work on their skills. They can't do the normal team activity, and it really, really hurts them. It really sets them back, and it ruins their career. We've seen that. With him and that wide receiver. Remember that wide receiver we took the other year? I'm trying to think of his name. He was fast as hell, too. And that dude stayed hurt.
Alabama?
He was really good. And he stayed hurt, and something happened to that guy, and all of a sudden he disappeared. We never heard anything from him. Nothing.
I mean, we've had so many guys like that. Now, you brought the heat, man, so far. So my final question for you before I let you go, man.
Sure.
Give me your score. Your final score prediction for the New York Jets' upcoming game against the Bills. How do you think the game ends up, and what do you expect out of Zach Wilson?
Looking at what LaFleur is doing with our offense and Zach Wilson's progression, I can see it being 34-28. I think because Buffalo's desperate to win, I say 34-28, probably Buffalo. Even though I want in the game, I think because they're so hard pressed. Yeah, unfortunately. But I think Zach Wilson with 28 points on the board is going to have a good performance, and hopefully we'll come out on a positive note and something to hang our hats on and look forward to next year and in the off season coming up. So I think either way we're gonna be in good shape. I think we're going to come out there and fight, and I anticipate that Salah's going to have the troops ready to go. So you better believe it. So we gave the Bucs quite a competitive game, and I look for the same thing with Buffalo because we're more familiar with them. We faced them early in the year, and this is a good rematch for Salah. So that's something to keep an eye on and how he responds to this team in the rematch and what will be the final game of the year. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am as well. Listen, I want to thank you for calling in, my friend. We got to hear from you more often, man. You know what I'm saying? I know you got to work. You gotta
my
get
work
that money.
schedule keeps me working. Normally, when you're on the air live, I'm missing you, and I'm normally working at the airport at the time.
Yeah.
And then when I do go on break, I'll put on YouTube, and I'll see the notification from you that you're going live, but I don't even have the time to even call in because by the time I get you on, I have to go back. And I remember one time I got on hold, to get through the call on your cubicle to get through, and by the time I think it was a couple of calls away from getting to you, I had to go back. So I didn't have the chance to even talk to you. So don't think too hard.
I get it, man.
I really miss talking to you.
Yeah. No, I get it. My work schedule is crazy as well. That's why I love connecting with people when I can. But, again, I love hearing from you. You have great takes, man. You have yourself a good night.
Same here, buddy. And you too now.
All right. Good.
Okay.
Listen, what a phenomenal call. My guy from North Carolina, man, he knows his Jets. He knows what he's talking about. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. Next, I'm going to my guy, Chris. Venom G's, you'll be next. CT, we're coming to you as well after Venom G. Salutes to you, Chris. I want to thank you for calling in tonight.
Hey, what's up?
Chris, what's going on? Give me your thoughts, man. Listen, Zach Wilson has come under fire. What are your thoughts about what the media has had to say about him and his character after the 4th down and 2, kind of breakdown in that play?
I mean, he plays with his hair on fire. He plays like, a guy that wants to win, guy wants the ball in his hand. I see nothing wrong with that. He's a young player. He wanted to win the game. He wanted to take the ball. He wanted to win the game. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, these games are to judge with this, and we got a true guy that wants to grit the games out. So I think even though the play call was questionable, the Jets were running the football, and they were running the football successfully, and they tried to get a sneak. Hey, they tried it and they didn't do it. I give them credit for going for it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a miscommunication. the coaches came out there and said that. I just don't understand why the media is constantly going on and on about it and really tried to destroy this kid. But another guy that really made a lot of plays in that game, Braxton Berrios. Braxton Berrios has looked phenomenal. What are your thoughts about his impact so far this season, and do you think he's a must re-sign this coming off season?
Is he a must re-sign? No. But would we like to re-sign him? Yes, I think because the thing is like this. For the Jets team, you said yourself, pass rushers, cornerbacks, things of that nature, are a priority for this team. And if you're spending a huge amount of money on your third wide receiver and not your number one or two, and bringing somebody else in, you gotta be careful what you spend your money on in free agency.
But,
has Braxton Berrios been here? Has Braxton? I'll give him what he wants, but I won't overpay. The thing is that
I hear you, Chris. I hear you, Chris, and I hear exactly what you're saying. I don't think I don't think that Joe Douglas is going to drastically overpay, and I don't think you have to drastically overpay to bring Braxton Berrios back. We have quite a bit of cap space left to bring him into the fold. I mean, going into free agency, again, if you want to pay a pass rusher or a top-flight wide receiver in free agency, you're going to pay out of your nose. So I don't know if we're going to do that.
Yeah.
But even some of the other issues that you talked about that we need to address, pass rusher, all that stuff, we can address that in the draft. We have so much draft capital, and again, there could be trades coming from trading down in the draft to all the things that we can do that could bring even more capital about. So I think that's another route that we could take, too, to kind of fill some of those areas.
Right. I think, look, Braxton's played great. He's played great for the team. He's been a security blanket for guys like Sam Darnold and stuff, but also like Jameson Crowder. I think people now play Jameson Crowder in terms of what, he adds to the team as well. So I do like Jameson Crowder. I mean, I'm really a fan of Jameson Crowder, and I think he's a good wide receiver as well. So that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. I like Braxton Berrios, but I also like Jameson Crowder as well. Yeah.
Jameson Crowder has definitely brought some solid playmaking skills for us. I was glad that we were able to get him, back into the fold after there was a kind of dust up about his contract stuff, during the season, but we were able to kind of move on from that. He came in for a solid deal that worked for us and the team, and he's been really playing well when he's been out there on the field. I think they expect him to be on the field against the Bills, and that takes me to my next question for you is when you look at the situation against the Bills, you got Fant out, you got McGovern out, the Bills are going to bring the heat, they got pass rushers. How concerned are you about the protection of Zach Wilson against the Bills?
I'm very concerned about, the safety of the quarterback and what they're going to bring to the thing. But the last game of the season, these guys are going to play like they got nothing to lose. And when you have a team that is going to the playoffs, you start thinking about injuries, you start thinking about the next game. These guys are going to be playing with their hair on fire like they have nothing to lose. And in the NFL, you go either way. So I expect a supreme effort out of the Jets for this particular game, and I believe they're very dangerous. I mean,
well, my final question for you, Chris,
final
question, like you said, they're a dangerous team. We saw them put up a hell of a fight against the Bucs. Give me your final score prediction, man. How do you think it's going to happen? What do you think the score is going to be? How do you think it goes?
I've been a Jet fan for a long time. And as any Jet fan gonna listen to this call, to expect the unexpected when you listen to this team. In division matchup, I'm gonna tell you, Joe. I think the Jets are gonna win this game, man.
Okay, give me your score. I think
the Jets are gonna win this game. I think it's gonna be 28-20. I think Josh Allen's gonna get nervous. I think he's not going to perform, and I think he's going to get pressure from the crowd. The AFC Championship, he's going to be looking over his shoulder, and I think he's going to make some mistakes. And I think the Jets are going to win this game.
Chris said 28-20. Okay, Chris, listen, I want to thank you for calling in. I got to get back to these lines. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
All right, thank you.
Salute. Listen, salutes. Listen, salutes again to Chris. He said, I'm taking the Jets. 28-20. That's the first Jets pick of the night. Salutes to Chris. We're going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy, Venom G's. We're coming to you next, CT. Salutes to you, Venom G's. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Venom, man, listen, there's been a lot to talk about with Zach Wilson. Give me your thoughts about his play against the Buccaneers, man.
Man, I thought it was outstanding. Happy New Year, Joe, first off. Happy New Year to you and all the savages.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Exactly. For those of you that do not know, Venom G's savage. He's a savage. Venom G's is a straight savage, man. Don't play with him. Go ahead. Salute to you, Venom. Happy New Year's.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts, man. Boy, it's crazy.
Man, I think Zach was playing great, man. I think that was his best professional game that he had this Sunday, where everything was clicking in. He was making the right reads. He was phenomenal this week. So I hope he continues on that same path and just continues to keep progressing and move forward with it. So hopefully we see more of that.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and I think
well,
we see that with Jets rookies when they're up against competition, they shine the brightest. When we saw Sam Darnold go against Aaron Rodgers, we see these glimpses. So I just hope Sam just builds on this. So I can't wait to see what he does against the Bills this week.
Yeah. I'm hoping that Zach is really able to continue to play well as well, get the ball out of his hands quickly. I think that's one of the big things that we saw against the Bucs. He was so decisive. He understood how to manipulate the defense. We're seeing that. And also it's the small things that he's doing as well, getting back to the line quickly. If he sees them trying to make a substitute, he'll quick huddle and, try to get a quick snap in to get them, off, catch them off balance. He does a lot of these things, these nuanced kind of things that you want to see young quarterbacks do that a lot of veteran guys do to get that extra 5 yards, that extra shot at the end zone to get those plays. Those top quarterbacks do that. So I like that. Now, coming to this Bills game, man, because that's what we got next, when you look at the situation, our wide receiver core, Barrios is out. We got, Davis is out. Elijah Moore looks like he's not going to play either. We're out our top three weapons. You know what I'm saying? These guys are out. So when you look at this wide receiver core, who do you think is going to be able to step up to really give us some type of playmaking ability there? And do you think that this is the week where we see something from Denzel Mims, man?
I think it's going to be. I don't know if Crowder. I don't know what he played this week. I don't know if you said he's out as well. But if he's playing, it's probably going to be.
He's on the bubble. He's on the bubble. He might play. He might not play. They're not sure.
If he plays, he's going to get most of the targets, and then I think from there it's going to Jeff Smith or Vincent Smith. I think Mims, he just has a lot more learning to do because he still seems confused out there. So I think they're not good. They're not giving up on Mims yet. I don't think they're giving up on Mims this year. I think they're going to keep him in. Let next year be his time to shine. So I think they're going to hold on to Mims because they're speaking highly of him. So
I'm as I keep it real. You know that we've had discussions going back and forth. I'm a little worried, bro. I'm a little worried, and I love Denzel Mims. Dude, we down our top 3 wide receivers, and he still can't get on the field. He got next to nothing against the Bucs. He's never on the field, and it doesn't matter what I don't know what's going on. Look, I know that they said earlier in the season that he didn't understand the playbook. He didn't know where he was supposed to be. Dude, it's been damn near a full season. This dude still don't know where he's supposed to be. They might be. Let's keep it real.
Yeah,
they might be showing him the edges. Go ahead.
I know, but they quick to bench him immediately. Well, you could let Van Rotten let everybody run past him, and he won't get benched ever. So I think is I hope they just give him another year to try to understand the system. If not, chop him chop them. If you're going to chop them now, let them go. But, you know, I also heard everybody talk about, you know, Calvin Ridley. I don't think that's the right way to go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right way to go. I don't think that's, you know, I don't think that's for us at this point in time. And especially, like you said, I'm on the same page with you. If somebody's questioning how they're feeling, and you know, we saw what Antonio did this weekend. I don't want that to be us in the next year or so. I hope we don't have those type of mental issues. But you know, before I get out of here, Joe, I just want to talk to you about the draft. I know you said you want to go Linderbaum number 1. But I want to know what you think about this one player that on the mock draft, it has everybody picking at number 7 or 8. What do you think about this kid, Nakobe Dean from Georgia?
I haven't done like a ton of too much draft stuff. What position is he? What is his position is he right now?
Linebacker. He's a linebacker. He's you know, if you go look at his highlights, this kid is extremely good, Joe. I think if the Jets do stay, he plays pass rusher. He's extremely fast. He's a good player. So I think, you know, if you get a chance, just check him out. Nakobe Dean from Georgia. He's a beast. He's a problem.
I've definitely heard a lot of names being thrown around, like you said, especially at that second first-round pick. But again, my big thing is if he's there during the trade down, if we go, you know, with Linderbaum at trade 5 and then trade back, if he's there, I think they'll be looking for a pass rusher with the next guy. So Dean could be, if he's a guy that can rush the passer effectively, he could be, you know, a guy that we take there. You know what I'm saying? So, but we'll see, because there's so many things you can do. Again, it depends on how far down we trade down too. I think for big capital. And this is, I'm just going to throw this out here right now. And before I let you go, I'm going to throw this out here right now. There's a chance if we trade down far enough, the New York Jets could have enough capital to not only have 2 first-round picks, but to trade back into the first round with some of the capital that we would score from trading down to get back into the first-round pick to basically have 3 first-round picks.
3 first-round
from our second.
Wow.
Utilize our second to get back into the there's so many the flexibility that we have with all the capital that we have has put us in a real solid position to address a lot of issues on this football team. So Nakobe Dean, and again, the draft coming up, we'll be talking about those guys, and we'll get the research done. All that stuff will be talked about, you know what I'm saying? But he's a guy that could be in our path. He's a guy that we could be looking at. There's a bunch of other, you know, pass rushers as well that we could be looking at too, or we could go offensive line twice. That's something we could see too. A lot of people are talking about yet.
I'm with it. I'm with it as well too. I'm with it as well too. And I just want everybody to chill on the cornerback as well. Chill on cornerbacks. Talk. We don't need them right now. We good. We just need to build up this D line. I'm telling you, Joe. We just spoke about this last week. We telling you how Tampa Bay did it. We telling you I'm telling you the secret sauce, man. You build up that D line, get some pass rushes, and we good to go, man. Keep Hall and Echols, and keep my man Pinnock at safety.
Yeah, give me your final score prediction really quickly, Venom, for the game upcoming against the Bills. Give it to me.
Yeah, I'm going with 29-24 Jets, man. I think
29-24
I think Sam's gonna. Yeah. I think for the Bills. We're gonna leave it saying we're gonna leave it saying we ain't the same old Jets, man. And then that's a good exit before we get this roster rebuilt to show them who we're gonna be for the next year. So I think we're gonna give them a kick in the butt and rebuild our roster and come back next year stronger.
All right. Well, listen, Venom, I got to get back to these lines, man. Salutes. I want to thank you for calling in. Venom took the Jets. You have a good night, man.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right. Venom took the Jets. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Final caller of the night, CT. We got a couple of minutes left on the show. I want to hear from him. CT, salutes. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. CT, give me your thoughts on the hate from the Jets media, Zach Wilson. Give me your thoughts about him Give me your thoughts about them bashing him publicly. How do you feel about this, man?
I think it's ridiculous. I think that, especially after the game that he had, I think that, they were pretty harsh on the kid, and especially him being a rookie. Yeah, he made a mistake. He should have handed the ball off to Barrios. We would have won that game. And I was mad, too, because I thought, man, this could be the last time Brady's in, MetLife Stadium. And I was like, let's just beat him, man. Let's just beat Brady one more time. And we should have had it, but we didn't get it, and it's okay. But, Zach is a rookie. He's going to learn from this mistake. I hope the entire staff learns from this mistake. It seems like they are. It seems like, it being a big media storm about it, there's no way they're not going to learn from this and improve from it. So with them being harsh on Zach, I think a lot of people have been harsh on Zach all year, sometimes warranted, sometimes not. But there's nothing to say that you can't deny that he's improved tremendously since the beginning of the season. And every single game he gets better. It seems like he gets better every single game, especially since after the injury. He had some struggles, but then he gets a little bit better. And last game was his first full game that you can say, man, he's a legit starting quarterback in this league. And he went against a really decent defense. Super Bowl contending, the Super Bowl champions. He went against them. So I think that he has a bright future, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah, that's a fact. Now, when you look at this upcoming game against the Bills, man, I want to hear your take about this. A lot of guys out on the offensive line. Are you concerned about the protection that's going to, be out there? Because, again, the Bills are going to bring the heat.
I'm concerned about everything, bro. I just found out Elijah Moore, not only the protection, man, but Elijah Moore and Barrios are out. So, Zach, if he can pull this victory off, it would be miraculous, honestly, because he has nothing. He has no offensive line, no wide receivers. And if he can do that, then he can do something that, is really, special. And he would have to ball out and really play a really perfect game to win this one. And, and then on the defensive side, come on, it's all up. This game is really all about that guy, Diggs, man, that slick kid Diggs. Last time he burnt us for 3 touchdowns, and I'm like, yo, if we can't contain him, and this is not just for this game, for the rest of the next 4 years, 5 years, he's going to be in our division every single year. We got to figure out a way to contain Diggs. He's the most deadly player in our division, and I think that he's lethal. So if you can't figure out a way to contain Diggs, we're going to lose this game. And I thought we had a shot to win it, but when I found out that Elijah Moore and Barrios are not going to make this game, I was like, yeah, it's just slim to none. It's not looking good.
Yeah, listen, I hear you. So give me your final score prediction for the game, man. How do you think it ends up?
Man, I was really going to go with the Jets. I really wanted to, but then I found out about the Barrios and Moore. And I got to say it's got to be Buffalo 30 to 21 about. Because I see things, they weren't able to contain him last time. Able to contain him last time, and until Bryce Hall or Echols can show me that, I know we put Dunn on him at one point. We put Guidry at him at one point. Hopefully they can stick with him with Hall this time around and see what turns out, and maybe we'll have a shot.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, CT, I'm going to close it out. Listen, I want to thank you for calling in tonight. You have yourself a good night, all right, my friend?
You too. Good night, man. Take care. Happy New Year.
All right. Have a good one. Same to you. Happy New Year as well, man. Salute to CT. Now, the final caller we're going to take tonight, I think this is my guy, Angelo. Angelo, you got to be quick. We're closing out the show, my friend. Salutes to you, Angelo. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. I want to talk to you about this Bills game. As you say, we saved the best for last. I think you were last the last time. Give me your thoughts.
Right,
what do you expect out of Zach Wilson against this Bills team, man? Really quickly.
I expect more momentum. I expect more better plays. I expect better decisions. Now, I was listening to the show earlier, and I want to say that the mistake in the Tampa Bay game was due to the coaches. I mean, you got a rookie quarterback in there. Is he really going to make the right decision every single time? And you know what? You got to say it about the defense. And I know you're talking about the safety position in the draft, but guess how we lost that game? Tom Brady threw the ball over the safety's head. We have no safeties out there. And you know what? Robert Saleh had two timeouts. Call a timeout late in that game. You saw the defense was exhausted running onto the field. We didn't have Tip under the gun. Tom Brady had us under the gun. In that situation, I get it. You want to try to burn the clock out.
You call a timeout. You put Tom Brady on the sideline. Let him think a little bit. I want to see momentum in this Bills game. I want to see the defense start stepping up. But I'll tell you, we got to attack the defense in the draft. And we have to attack offensive line, linebackers. I think our young corners, like you said, are the building blocks. I don't think you got to touch our cornerbacks. I think, everybody's talking about Derek Stingley. I think you say that. I like and imagine how good our corners would play if we had a pass rush. We don't even have a pass rush right now. So as far as the Bills, I want to see a couple sacks, man. How about that? How about getting Josh Allen on the ground a couple times? Let's see some of that. Yeah. Let's see some big game. Let's see another interception. Let's see Zach Wilson throw another couple touchdowns. And I want to see, a win or a close loss. I want to see same thing with Tampa Bay. Let's move the momentum into next year and build on the future of this franchise.
That's a fact. Now, quickly, Angelo, give me your final score prediction. How do you think it ends up, man? 27-21 Bills. Ooh, 27-21 Bills. All right. Listen, Angelo, I want to thank you for calling in, my friend. You have yourself a good night, all right?
You too, buddy. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Listen, Angelo calling in. Now we're about to close out the show, folks. Listen, I'm going to do my little wrap-up really quickly. Look, it's going to be tough. I think, again, Zach Wilson is out there. We're missing a lot of our top targets. It's looking like Elijah Moore is not going to be playing. Hopefully, Jameson Crowder is going to be out there. Braxton Berrios is not going to be out there as well. I know that, again, even Jameson Crowder himself is on the bubble, but it's looking like he's probably going to make it out there. So, with the lack of targets, and then you also look at the offensive line, the issues there, no Fant. Connor McGovern's going to be out as well. There's so much questions up front, and the Bills are going to bring the heat, man. They're going to bring the heat. I am taking the Bills to beat the New York Jets 24-10. 24-10, I'm taking the Bills, man. I'm sorry. Incredible sorry, man. Hit me again. All right. So we're going to go ahead and close out the show now. I want to thank everyone again for calling in. It was a phenomenal show. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. Right? Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well, okay? YoungJ000. Again, YoungJ000. Go ahead. Follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. I'm just saying, dude is like one of the best, left guards in the league. One of the best offensive linemen in the league. That's all I'm saying. Fight on, But he'll be down there with me as well. So if you want to troll, we'll troll you right back. Also, you can go to the show's page as well, at The Long Beach Joe Show, at The Long Beach Joe Show on Twitter. All right, go ahead and follow that page. It'll follow you right back. And we'll go back and forth. I love talking football with folks. I'm also on YouTube as well, okay? That's where we live stream the show. That's where we have a lot of fun. We post a lot of content. We also game on there as well. The Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube, okay? Long Beach Joe Jets. Go there, subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Give the videos a thumbs up, all right? You know what I'm saying? And, again, if you want to troll me, no issues. I'll troll you right back. We can go back and forth. Hit me with a comment. I'll hit you right back, and we can go back and forth on there as well. And as always, people, when you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone. I want to thank everyone for listening. No matter where you folks are from, I truly appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that listens. Without you people, I am absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the time out of the day to listen and call into the show. You folks are the absolute best, all right? Again, Happy New Year to everyone. Enjoy yourselves and be safe out there. You folks have a good one. Peace.